to help you embrace. No more relying on pills they don't know. She's got the strength to help you grow. Feel the power rising inside. Shayna's guidance right by your side. Life's getting brighter step by step. With Shayna's touch, you're gonna prep. Feel the power rising inside. Shayna's guidance right by your side. Life's getting brighter step by step. With Shayna's touch, you're gonna prep. Medicine shelves are emptying out. Finding real strength, that's what it's about. No more prescriptions tying you down. With Shayna's help, you'll wear the crown. Ladies, hear the call, it's time to rise. Shayna lifts the veil, opening eyes. No more shadows breaking your day. With her wisdom, fight pain away. Finding the strength deep inside. Shayna Melissa takes us on this ride, from suffering to a life so free. Her healing touch, she'll set you free with the heart.
Hey, hey, have you ever noticed that your fruits and veggies just aren't tasting the same? The consistency is different, they're cooking a little different. Perhaps it's all the insecticides, pesticides, and a peel. What if you can get organic produce delivered direct to your door while supporting the small farmer so that he can keep farming the produce year after year, delivering it to you? I am Shayna Melissa Stockman, the autoimmune expert. I would rather help prevent your disorder today than treat it tomorrow. I empower mostly ladies to get and feel better while reducing or often eliminating their reliance on medicine. Today, we have a very, very special guest. Mr. Stephen Jarvis is a fifth generation farmer, the last known man to still use the moon phase calendar to farm the produce and help with animal reproduction. He's helped write rules for organic meats in Texas. He's been featured on Fox News with one of my favorites, Jesse Waters Primetime. He is also working closely recently with RFK Jr. Coalition because he helped create the U.S. Regenerative Small Farm and Food Act for MAHA and the Mystic Bill to stop weather modification in all 50 states. Like myself, he's a true trailblazer. He's also suffered medical mysteries, also ended up at the Mayo Medical Clinic where they left them helpless, but both of us knew we had to have belief, faith, prayer, powers of the plants, determination. Both of us healed ourselves and helped many others do the same, and we both wrote about it in multiple books. Steve and his wife Lynn manage 120 acres and help ship you organic produce like potatoes direct to your door. I would like to give a very warm welcome to Steve Jarvis for thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We appreciate that you're taking time out of your busy day because we know this is your busy farm season and you've
That's
just farmed so many potatoes and you're going right back out there. So we appreciate it. Can you share with us a little bit more about this moon phase and how you incorporate it to increase produce as well as animal production?
So here's the thing, most people don't realize that back, say, in the 1930s, the moon phase calendar and the signs of the zodiac were common knowledge and common conversations among farmers and people. They knew it. They doctored their animals by it. And ladies, your bodies operate on a 13-month moon phase cycle, but now we're in this Roman calendar thing, you know, what we did use now, and some days have 31 and some have 30. Last year, February had a 29th day, and now we're back to a 28th day. And your body's trying to cycle those things. What I do is I'm the only farmer left in the United States of America who writes his own moon phase calendar. And I use the 12 signs of the zodiac, and I take all that devil junk out of it, you know, like your horoscope and palm reading and all that stuff. I don't use any of that. But these things were great. I actually have videos on my online farm school, which is on sas-usa.com, that shows you how to do castration on animals with no blood if you do it on the right side of the moon and the moon is in the right uh, in the right
Wow.
light. So it's so powerful, and people have lost this, and they lost this on purpose. And now we know that we're in this world of disinformation. So the thing about it is they don't want you to know this because listen, the moon phase is your green thumb. Because a lot of
Wow.
people, what they do, they'll plant carrots and they'll plant carrots on the wrong phase, and then they'll get real short carrots. And that's because you planted the carrot, you planted in an upward cycle,
Yes.
which carrots don't grow upward, they grow downward. Most of y'all should know that.
No, thank you for teaching me that. Now, that is great. And it's important for us to not lose what the past generations did because each generation built and learned more to do better than the next generation. And this happened generation after generation. And now it seems like with the new generation, we're just throwing out that century of wisdom and starting from scratch when we should be learning from our ancestors and improving upon it. So thank you,
That's
thank you,
right.
thank you for that.
Yeah, and what you got to realize is there's really actually 13 months. My moon phase calendar, the way it's set up, I do set it up in a Roman calendar style, but it is based on the 13 moon phase cycles and the 13 months. And actually, the beginning of the year is actually in April, and you do that. And so, guess what? You guys all been working 13 months a year for all your life and getting paid for 12.
Wow. Oh my God. Somebody owes me a lot of money. So I'm glad that you're not letting the prior generation's skills and knowledge go to waste and you're building upon it and modifying it. Same like I did with my grandma. My grandma raised me in the 70s with naturopathy. My grandpa was a pharmacist, but he died of a lethal drug interaction. And I believe that's why my grandma used the powers of the plants and raised me that way. So I don't want to let that knowledge go away because I've helped so many people with the power of the plants and nutrients in the foods over giving them a prescription, which I clearly can because I'm the nurse practitioner. So,
Well, let me just tell you this. One of the most powerful things for ladies that the moon phase does. So, my wife struggled with hair loss when she was
ooh,
younger, like in her 20s. I mean, so many people do this. And I kept telling her, I said, you're cutting your hair on the wrong side of the moon. And I said, you're going to the beauty salon, you're treating all this stuff on there, and that's why your hair's thinning. So, finally, she said, okay, I'll do what you say. Now, on my moon phase calendar, the ladies, there's about 4 to 7 times a month, depending on what month it is and what year it is, but you can cut your hair to make it grow.
ooh, all right. It sounds like we all need to go to sas-usa.com and get a moon phase calendar from you. Now, can you share with us a few of your pro tips, maybe that even the ancestors passed down or newer ones that you've adopted? And it could be about planting or, hey, if we buy these pounds of potatoes from you, how can we store them and make them last almost a year?
So all you have to do on the potatoes, and listen, folks, just so you know, after you eat fresh potatoes coming in from me, and it's a 15-pound box. They're averaging about 17 pounds. We ship everywhere in the United States. It's $75 a box. That covers shipping and handling and the potatoes. And what you have to realize is once you eat these for the first time in your life, you will never go back to the grocery store. It's going to ruin you because those potatoes are
Ah,
stored for a long time and they're refrigerated. And these potatoes, and what you want to do is if you have a place where you can keep these between 38 and 80 degrees with airflow around them, they'll last 10 months. And I'm going to make video, I'll have videos up in the days on my IG, Out of the Wild 3D, that will show you how to do that.
nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. And it's so important that, I want us to be able to stock these potatoes, get them from you to help support your small organic farm, but yet also have them last for us all winter long where we don't have to rely on the food stores with the insecticides and pesticides. So thank you very much for that. And, I love that you're collaborating with Robert Kennedy Jr. and promoting food as medicine as well because like I said, my grandma raised me with the power of the plants in the 70s, and I would watch her eat a banana for potassium magnesium so she wouldn't need a heart and a blood pressure pill. And I've taken that knowledge, incorporated in my 5 college degrees, my 4 nursing licenses, and expanded it so that I don't know if you realize this, Steve, but I have in my 90-day program and my workshops a section I call food pharmacy, FARM, because I look at it like this. If we can eat our way into getting diabetes, then we can eat our way out of diseases and disorders as well. People need to realize the foods can make us ill, but we can also use powers of the plants to make us better, like foods that have natural anti-inflammatories, cilantro, garlic. Oh, there you are with Robert Kennedy Jr. Can you share with us the latest? I know you've been collaborating with him for the Small Farm Act that you helped create and lobbied for in Washington, as well as the bill to stop weather modification in all 50 states. Can you share with us the latest, and when you spoke with him, and disclose whatever you can on what's coming our way or what we can do to be a part of it?
Well, so I've been in Washington D.C. Twice in the last 80 days, and then RFK has also been to my farm. Now, the reason that I wound up in D.C. is because on November 9th, 2024, I started writing a farm plan for the entire United States of America to create 1 million 40-acre farms. Now, these farms are 120 acres, and you farm 40 of it, and you rotate. And now the word came up, and people started saying, Steve, you need to start using the word regenerative. I said, well,
Which
what's regenerative? And they said, well, that's when you farm certain ground and then you let it rest and you rotate, move in. I said, well, that's just old farming. So anyway, I do
Yes,
use the regenerative farm word, but it's just old farming. That's what it is. And
I
one of the things that RFK came here because I wrote that farm plan. They invited me there to speak in DC. That's why he did come to my farm, because I don't use herbicides, I don't use glyphosate, and I don't use pesticides. And I grow half
nice.
of my field completely organic, and I do use a little bit of commercial fertilizer on the top for my online farm school to show the difference in what, and so my philosophy on fertilizer is it's 50 billion year old dinosaur urine. So it works great. But I do grow them both, and I show what people, the production and what you get. And the thing is, there's four types of agriculture, and RFK is really helping get this word out. Is that there's four types of agriculture. There's gardening, there's homesteading, there's the row crop farmer. We're the ones that actually are the ones that have disappeared over the time. Then there's giant ag.
Yes.
The row crop farmer is too small to go to, is too large to go to farmers market, and he's too big to go to grocery stores. And the reason he is because he can't compete on
Ah,
grocery store prices. And so most people don't realize I was agriculturist of the year. My farm was in 2010, and I was out of business in Texas in 2011. And the reason that happened was the Food Modernization Act put in by Obama, and it stopped small farms from being able to sell to direct grocery stores. Now RFK's come here and he realizes, and he's helping me, but he's got a huge fight on his hands on a lot of other fronts.
yes.
But giving us his blessing, and I have a huge meeting. I
Yes.
can't say who's all going to be there October 2nd. It's going to be a game changer for America.
Nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love Junior because he's truly doing what is best for our health, not the wallets. Like there's a lot of Dems out there that might be doing what's best for their wallet. Keep us sick, keep spraying the food so that the big P company can sell us the chemo and the treatments. And so I love what he's doing. I hope to be a bigger part of it. And how you didn't know of that term regenerative farming because you were doing it your whole life. Same with me with naturopathy and functional medicine. I was learning root cause medicine, root cause treatments, if you will, before there ever was a school of functional medicine. So nowadays, these new people are trying to make a fad of it and say, I do functional medicine. I'm like, no, you don't. I've been doing this before there even was a school for it. So I can so relate to you on that. And can you share with us a tip on what would you tell your much younger self? But before we do that, I just want to thank all those that are watching. Please, we have the capabilities to stream your questions, comments right here live across the screen. Click that subscribe button so you can see us again and spread our message. Oh, right there, reclaim your life, my upcoming super workshop. If you guys are sick and suffering with symptoms, exhaustion, pain, brain fog, stubborn weight, hair thinning, join our upcoming live Reclaim Your Life all new super workshop. Just go to worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim and claim your free or VIP experience. You could scan that QR code or go to worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. Claim your free seat or VIP seat. Mark your calendars for Saturday, October 18th at 12 noon EST. I'm going to go more into food pharmacy, how to use the powers of the plants for their natural purposes so that you can reduce your inflammation and other things like that. It's great for autoimmune warriors and those suffering with symptoms. So again, worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim, claim your no cost or VIP seat. Okay, back to you, Steve. Sorry about that pop up. Steve, what piece of advice would you like to give your much younger self? If you can look back at the younger Steve and have told him something that could have totally transformed you.
So before we go into that, I want to add one thing about, you're talking about food as pharmacy, because I want everybody to know that there has been a bill that's just been passed in all 20 states that literally is going to allow Medicare and Medicaid to pay regenerative farmers for their food to treat people for illnesses. RFK is a big part of this. He's helped this. This is huge, folks. I mean, the medical industry is finally admitting that good food can heal your body. And you've been saying this. I mean, before you and I met, and we're trying to tell people this, and good food is medicine, and now 20 states are going to allow this. This is huge, folks. It's huge.
Yes. And what's crazy is that I've been praising this for decades, and people look like, what are you, crazy? But now they're starting to come around. It's almost like the trailblazers in the beginning. People think the trailblazers are crazy. If you look at Christopher Columbus, people think the world's not round. When they said, we're going to send men and women to outer space, people thought those trailblazers were crazy. When Steve Jobs said there's going to be a computer in every household, and he said that in the 70s or 80s when they were huge, people thought the trailblazers were crazy. But then eventually, decades later, they came around. So people are finally coming around to what we've been preaching for years.
100%. And it's so good, too, because medical doctors, RFK just put it in. He just put it in through HHS that doctors are going to have to go back for retraining, if you can believe this or not. This is so good information. This is some of the things we've been talking about. But doctors are going to go back to realize that nutrition is one of the things that the patient needs. And so in my farm plan that creates 1 million new 40-acre farms also creates 10,000 new processing centers, because we know nutrient-dense food is what heals you. And when you go to the grocery store and you're buying your lettuce, ladies, if you're having trouble losing the weight and you're buying vegetables at the grocery store, do you realize that after 3 days of harvest, that product has already lost 50% of its nutrient density? In most vegetables. And that's what people don't realize. Now, about my younger self. Now, listen, I think this is important. You should replay this video or write this down. But one of the things that happened to me, I'd spent 7 years on my deathbed. I was actually sprayed by the military in the flat top wilderness area working cattle. And I've been talking about our, weather modification and people spraying us since 1990. That was before cell phones and computers. And I spent 7 years on my deathbed, and I was sent home from Mayo Clinic to die. But what I would tell the people out there, if you will do this, this will change your life, okay? What you need to do, you need to sit down and you need to write a 6-month, a 2-year, a 5-year, and a 10-year plan, okay? You need to write down, and then you need to write a life plan. But let's just say you don't know where to start. Let's just put it this way, ladies out there, especially younger generation, if you're out there. Where do you want to be when you're 65, 70 years old? Where do you want to be? Do you want to be married to a big, ugly guy that has no teeth in the swamps of Louisiana selling crawdads on the side of the road? If that's what you want, you need to write it down. But you need to write down who you want to marry, what kind of job you want to have. I think it's important. But I've been doing this since right after I got off my deathbed, and it's totally transformed my life. Because if you will write down but if you won't write it down, you're just dreaming. But if you write it down, it comes into fruition, and it's a plan. I semi-retired at 48, but I've been destroyed in agriculture 4 different times on 4 different farms by the rules and regulations of the government. And I still am debt-free at 57. I own my own place, and you can be too. But you must write a plan down. That's what I would tell my younger self.
That is awesome advice. And the viewers out there, click that share button because somebody you know needs to hear this right now. I'm also a certified dream builder, and I tell people it's like this. If you go to your car and you go to set the GPS or the Google Maps, if you don't know where you're going, you can't get the directions on how to get there. We must figure out first where we want to go and then the action steps needed to get there. It's like, ladies, have you ever gone into the grocery store and you come out with everything but the one thing you went in for, right? Because you didn't make that grocery list of your wants. So, like Steve said, it's very important to think about what you want, write it down, and then figure out the action steps you need to get there. If you're going to be there in 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, break it into long-term goals, short-term goals, and calls to action. A dream is just a dream unless you take massive, consistent action and just never, ever, ever quit. And I think the most successful people in life failed the most amount of times because that's how we learn to grow. We don't learn from our successes. I think we learn more from our mistakes.
Well, I can tell you this: if people will write down, so I got really good at writing down my goals and where I wanted to be. And I can tell you this: I believe that that's why the Creator of the Universe had me write a plan for the entire United States of America, because I'm literally writing a plan for
Yes.
250,000 families per year to be changed. And then in 5 years, you'll have a million or so farms, and you actually will completely change the entire society, and you will change the entire nation, and you will change agriculture, and you will change health. And not only that, it will create 754% ancillary jobs,
Nice.
which are jobs farmers create outside, tire repairmen, these guys. So listen, just to prove to you, I wrote that plan and on December 5th, there was an email came out and I wrote that plan before RFK was going to be HHS. I was just hoping he would be. And then when he looked like he was going to be HHS secretary, there was a team established, and he says, does anybody have any ideas on what a good direction to go to make America healthy again? I said, that's me.
Hold
I
on.
wrote a plan. Here it is. So I wrote the plan. What do you think the chances are me writing a plan, sending it in there, and then me getting invited to Washington, D.C., speaking there twice? And what do you think the chances are RFK coming to my farm? And what do you think the chances are that he's listening to me? And I believe pretty soon I'll be speaking with President Trump as well.
That is awesome, awesome, awesome. And I just had an aha moment. I love that picture with you and RFK Jr. at your farm recently. And I'm glad that you had the vision and then took the consistent action steps and just never ever quit to make that become a reality. And I'll tell you this, I have trained internationally fellow healthcare pros, especially about autoimmune disorder and food pharmacy. And then actually at one of those meetings, a local tri-state area program reached out to me to train the resident doctors about autoimmune because they're not trained. We need to go back to the basics. We used to have naturopathy in the medical schools, and we all know what happened with Rockefeller. So I want to help empower the doctors because I look at it like this, and I'm going to share my dream with you now. When I impact a patient, that is great. But for every healthcare professional that I teach my food pharmacy techniques to, each of them might potentially impact at least 1,000 more people per year. So if if I only taught 1,000 healthcare pros my technique, that each impacted 1,000 lives a year, that's 1 million lives per year. And then compounding, those healthcare pros are teaching other healthcare pros. So I had a recent revelation that I actually wanted to focus on teaching the healthcare pros to create that deeper, bigger impact. So then you mentioning that we're going to have to retrain all the doctors how to use the powers of the plants, just throwing that out there. So
Yeah,
now
that's right.
that's on my radar.
Think about this too. Just so you know, I haven't. I'm 57. I haven't been back to a doctor in 35 years for anything, and I'm
Nice.
on no.
Me too. Okay, that's another commonality we have. We both had weird medical mysteries. The doctors left us helpless and hopeless. We had belief. We took consistent action. We used prayer. We used powers of the plants and nutrient dense foods. And I noticed this there were certain foods, and the viewers out there, you ever notice certain foods make you feel not good, right? Maybe it's tomato sauce or acid reflux. And if we know certain foods help us not feel good, there's other foods that can help us feel good, right? So we need to realize not just what to stay away from, but I'm all about in our busy lifestyle what I call quick swap outs, right? Red tomatoes for orange, whatever it may be, quick swap outs that you don't have to grow all organic and cook for 6 hours at a time. Maybe like cilantro is a great anti-inflammatory. So I'll say swap other spices for cilantro. Add a little ginger root to your food to spice it up and help soothe your tummy. I'm all about that. We're so on the same page here. And I think there's something bigger in
Well,
store.
another thing too is on sass-usa.com, my online farm school. I teach about butchering your own animals. But one of the big things that's been hot, I know you know this, is tallow is back really, really hot.
Yes.
And tallow is so healthy for you. And if you will learn to can your food, me and my wife have canned our food our whole entire lives. We harvest it, we can it immediately, and bone broth is so healthy for you, ladies, things like that. And using the moon phase calendar to do these things by is huge. And the tallow, I hate to tell y'all this, but a lot of this new tallow that's in all these grocery stores now is coming from lab-grown tallow. There's a lab in Spain, and they are actually growing beef fat, chicken fat, and pork fat, and they are rendering that and selling that as real. And folks, it's not real.
I love your website and I love all the classes that they can do on farming and storing. And, you brought up a great point with the tallow because in our society here, in the US, we are taught to, hey, you have high cholesterol, go on a drug. And we know now that when they lower their cholesterol too much with those prescriptions, that they're getting Alzheimer's, they're getting Parkinson's. We know that we need this fat to line our myelin sheath of our nerve cells so that the nerves can communicate with each other. And we know now that people on golf courses live on like golf course communities because they're sprayed so much that they have higher Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. So we know, and I'm glad that Junior is working with you and others to take these ingredients out of our foods and to relabel foods to make us more aware. And you know what? Why do we have to take out these ingredients that haven't been in the European foods for years? Right? We should have never had them in there. And we know, I believe these food companies, some of them are in with the big P companies and getting us sick to sell us the treatments. So that's all I want to say on that.
Yeah, well, the thing about it, RFK, another big thing that he is doing is he's about to announce the dietary guideline pyramid is going to be flipped back the way it used to be.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Junior.
And actually, I'm good friends with the rancher, Brian Massard. Brian Massard is the rancher. He's in Dillon, Montana. He owns Reminisce Angus Ranch. You can go on his store, and it has tallow and beef and all the things that from like they used to. And
nice.
He's a big tallow guy. And Brian Massard, we become friends since we met in D.C. Actually, both of us were invited at the same time. We became friends, and he is the guy that has been working on reversing the dietary guidelines, and he's been RFK's advisor for the past year. And he is one of the only ranchers that is the reason that dietary guideline, and that's going to be announced here by October 5th.
Well, I'm sure Junior is going to need some more people. So if you're seeing this, because I'll tell you this, I've been a nurse practitioner, a nationally board certified nurse practitioner, and a registered nurse since the 1990s, over 3 decades. And I've been preaching better dietary guidelines because the Diabetes Association was telling patients to drink orange juice and eat cereal for breakfast. And I'm like, no, guys, you need more eggs in your diet. So thank you, Junior. If you need some more help on board, I've been doing this for decades. My diabetic patients back in the 90s would tell me, but it's okay because the diabetes guidelines tells me to have cereal for breakfast and pure orange juice. And, and they were looking at me like I was crazy. They're like, it's okay. The Diabetes Association says so. And I'm like, guys, anybody I stuck on my diet, I don't even call it a diet, lifestyle change. I used to call it caveman diet before other people were jumping on the bandwagon. If it came out of the ground or has eyes, it's so much better for you. How many people I've helped lower their sugars by switching them from cereals and orange juices to eggs in the morning, right? So if it comes out of the ground or has eyes, let's not complicate it. Comes out of the ground, has eyes, it's better for you. Anything in a bag, a box, a can is just not as good. Anything man-made and processed. I guess you'd agree on that one, right?
Oh, 100%. 78% of the food in the grocery store is all processed. And the thing about it is, when you go in there, the other, like all pork is mRNA vaccinated now. So
Yes.
I've been trying to work with some people that can make a video where they can walk through a grocery store and literally the camera could block out food that is not real. I think the grocery store would look very empty.
Nice. Nice. Yes, I have a video that might help them too. It actually has a lot of swap outs. Instead of this, use that. Instead of this, use that. Even cleansers in our house, right? Why are we resorting to bleach and harmful chemicals? We can use lemon juice, good old fashioned baking soda, vinegar. And there's so many simple lifestyle tweaks that you can do in your busy lifestyle that just swap this for that. And I have something like that for them as well. And wow, wow, wow. We have so many commonalities, and I don't even know. You're leaving me speechless.
Well,
um,
let me finish it up for you. I didn't
sure.
know this, but you have a cookbook. Is that correct? Or you have a magazine with
Oh,
recipes in
oh,
it?
okay, cool. So I
Yeah,
have
that's
two
really neat.
books. Okay, so I have two books out. One reached international bestseller status, Overcoming Life Obstacles, Real People, Real Stories. On Amazon, they can get it on my website. There's a digital version. Right there, they can go to worldwellnessexpert.com/OLO, which is the acronym for the book Overcoming Life Obstacles. It's real people, real stories. A lot of the gold nuggets that helped me that I would tell my younger self are in there. How to biohack, how to activate your genes. The motto, the premise of this is we're all helping each other our life obstacles. And at the top, we're all celebrating together. And then we're lifting down. If you look at the icon on the cover, we're lifting down to uplift others. That's the acronym of the book, OLO, for Overcoming Life Obstacles, Optimistically Lifting Others. But Steve, I think what you're talking about is the Kudos magazine. I've been collaborating with this beautiful magazine. It's all about healthy, happy living. It's a printable and a digital version, and they can get this right there at worldwellnessexpert.com/kudos for absolutely free. I've been collaborating with this magazine for about 2 years now. We collaborated on at least 18 editions of the magazine. And each and every edition, there are simple lifestyle hacks that you can do, simple swap outs, and lots of recipes. And in the digital version, it's fun and interactive. You can actually just click the link or scan the QR code in the magazine and go right to that video where I'm teaching you about cilantro or garlic or ginger root. So you can get that magazine for absolutely free at worldwellnessexpert.com/kudos. Thank you, Steve, for mentioning that. There's going to be another edition coming out. They're quick, simple, healthy recipes that you can do in no time with just a few simple ingredients. I'm all about helping the busy lifestyle.
Yeah, well, and what I wanted to say is you get that you're going to get that magazine there, and what you're going to do, you're going to order a box of potatoes from me. My
Yeah.
website has been hacked, so what you have to do is you have to text 208-875-9499. You'll get a link sent to you for Venmo or Zelle, and you'll buy a box of potatoes, and you get connected here for these books she has in the magazine, and everybody's rocking and rolling on the right way to health and
Yes.
eating. And listen, once you eat these fresh potatoes, it's going to ruin you. I'm just warning you. So 208-875-9499. You're going to text that number, and I'll get you a box of potatoes out in the next couple of days.
Yeah, and maybe in the nation we'll include special potato recipes, including like garlic mashed with cilantro,
Mm.
so they get multiple anti-inflammatories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you guys can go to either go to sas-usa.com, but if you want to get his organic potatoes without insecticides, pesticides, yummy tasting, text 208-875-9499. The word may be potatoes or Shayna, whatever it may be. And then he will forward you the instructions so that they will ship his organic potatoes direct to your door. And then when you also go to worldwellnessexpert.com/kudos, you're going to get the recipes so that you can make all of those pounds of potatoes that are going to ship direct to your door. This would be a cool collaboration, and the recipes will include natural anti-inflammatories in with the potatoes like that cilantro, garlic, ginger root. Mm-mm-mm.
And
Get a
don't
little
forget the
iodized
butter.
salt.
Don't forget
Oh
the butter.
yeah.
You want the butter in
Woo.
that potato.
Oh, definitely,
Fresh
definitely. And
butter.
iodized salt. Yes, this is going to be great. And who knows? Maybe we'll have you back on. Maybe we'll collaborate in the future. Maybe Junior and Maha needs someone to train the doctors because I've been training the doctors for a lot of years now, and people don't realize when they go to a lot of the doctors, especially the younger ones, who helped train them, right? So I say it's like this, Steve. If you want to go to a good restaurant, you watch where the chefs are eating, right? If you want to go to a good doctor, look at who some of them are learning from. Just saying. All right. So, Steve, this was such a pleasure to have you here for taking the time out of your busy lifestyle and farming all your potatoes. You're going to text Steve to get your organic potatoes. You're going to go to worldwellnessexpert.com/kudos to get my recipes so that you can make those yummy potatoes with natural anti-inflammatories and lots of butter. And then also, the viewers, thank you for watching. Click that share button. So if you know somebody that wants to get healthy, stay healthy, get organic potatoes, support the small farmers so that they can keep sustaining the farms to produce the produce for you without the poisons. Click that share button. One last time, mark your calendars for October 18th at 12 noon EST time. This is a live Reclaim Your Life super workshop, all new content. Even if you've attended something else, we're going to get into food pharmacy as well, healthy, quick recipes, lots of swap out hacks, bad things for good things in your busy lifestyle. Just scan that QR code or go to worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim. We're filling up fast the number of seats. I am limiting it. There are free seats and there are VIP. The VIP will also get an Q&A session, the digital and printable Reclaim Your Life blueprint, and a private confidential consultation with me for less than the cost that you probably spent on a lunch right now before the prices go up. So I just want to say that. Hope to see you guys on worldwellnessexpert.com/reclaim on the live workshop. And thank you so much, Steve, for taking time out of your busy farming day today to enlighten us on what you and RFK Jr. are doing to keep the poisons out of our foods, to relabel the foods, to retrain the doctors how food is medicine, to get rid of the seeding, hopefully in all the 50 states, to help small farmers to sustain their farm so that they can keep producing the foods without the poisons for us so that we can grow in the US. I thank you. I thank RF Kennedy Jr. from the bottom of my heart for all you do for the Americans to keep us healthy. And, please, guys, support local farms like this. We're out for your health over our wallets, where a lot of the big processing manufacturers are not, right? We need to also, I'm going to say this, we need to, Junior, if you're going to watch this, or your people, maybe not you, but your people, we need to, instead of monetizing the sick care system and the doctors that are keeping people the sickest, right? The doctors that keep the people the sickest on the most amount of meds make the most amount of money. They come back every month, they come back for years to come, they get the most testing. What if we incentivize practitioners like me that keep the patients better, not needing the meds, keeping them out of the ER, keeping them from getting diabetes and cancers and hospitalizations? What if we just incentivize them a little bit of the billions of dollars they're saving? America would still save billions more, right? Woo-hoo. So thank
Good
you for
job.
letting me rant. I'm very passionate about what I do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any final words before we go? Thank you for the viewers. Click that subscribe button, share this, text him to get your potatoes.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on.
Ah, you're most welcome. Thank you again, Steve. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, RFK Jr. And we look forward to a long collaboration in the future with you, the viewers, and you, Steve and Junior, to make America healthy again. Yay! Food
That's
is
right.
medicine. Guys, be well, biohack, and Olo.
Finding the strength deep inside. Shayna